4 seats.
Okay, left 2 seats. Thank you first, then I can start. Okay, let's get started. Please have your seat, coaches. Okay, thanks everyone for coming. We actually opened the class to 30 people only, but I think 60 people signed up. Then, so most of the people are waiting list. I think some of you are waiting list, but managed to come in. And thanks to the venue organizer and co-organizer, right, from Cambridge Academy, both them representing the course. So some of you asked me why this venue, right? Because it's a pro bono class. So we actually got venue sponsor. So they sponsored the venue. And in addition, although I told you guys there's no coffee or whatever, bring your water, right? They decided to sponsor also drinks. So please, thanks to them, right? So they are from Cambridge Academy. This is where the place is, right? So there's a feedback that there's only one toilet. That's a problem, but I think that's not a problem. Okay. So thanks to them again, right? And thanks to all people coming. Yeah. So okay, yeah. You want to take a photo? Okay. Okay, then we start the class. Yeah. I took some videos and pictures. I very good. Yeah. That's mine.
Thank you.
Okay, so we start the class. We are about 7 minutes late, but that's still okay. Okay, I guess some of you know me, right? And I apparently don't know everybody, but later on we'll get to know you later on during the break and question and answers. So I think this class is called Senior Loves AI. I'll explain why. Right, and it's an English class. There's a reason why I put English class because we actually did the Chinese one first, right? And then so it's organized by Cambridge Academy, which is the venue sponsor, right? And 59 ST Ventures, which is my company, and we have 3 coaches there who are all the consultants of the company. Yeah. Okay. So very quickly, just do some publicity. Well, not publicity. Actually, it's over. So some of you asked who is the sponsor for this class, right? Is it government, SkillsFuture, or whatever? Actually, it's not. So we did it on a pro bono basis, right? One of the reasons is that actually we started such a pro bono thing, right? Since 2018, okay? And one of the reasons is that before 2018, before COVID, I actually have been traveling for 15 years outside of Singapore. So most of the time, I'm not in Singapore. Right, then since I come back after 15 years of traveling, so decided to do something because when I was working in China and many other places, there's this thing, although it's all in Chinese, I'll explain why in Chinese. Because there's this thing about what we call 科普, 科普 is 科学普及化, means you try to make technology understandable and acceptable by the common public, right? Because any technology, if you think about it, if it is just between or within the people who know technology, right, the experts, then you can never make it a general purpose technology, right? We call it GPT, not your GPT, but GPT really is general purpose technology. And you imagine if all of you didn't use WhatsApp, right, it wouldn't be so popular today. How many of you still use the IDD call? Calling IDD 001. Sorry, there are 2 telco bosses behind, right, who used to be very familiar with that call. Right, my ex-boss in 1997. Right, so again, without all this WhatsApp and apps that you are using today, we probably are still paying very expensive prices for IDD calls, right? And you probably wouldn't be browsing internet. So same thing for AI or any technology. If it's not being the common people's use, right, for general purpose technology, it will never be widespread and it will not be actually used widely by everybody. So we actually did it. Colin, for my first session, he already did it with me, right? Colin Cole at the back. Right. Again, he is with me for almost every class. Thanks to him. He's actually my senior from Chinese High School, right, in Singapore. So, and we actually did some talks in Chinese High as well, right? So we did it in 2018 with another person, Cai Zhen Li. Some of you in the Chinese industry will know him. Then I also did it in my hometown in Batu Pahat, Malaysia, right, in Johor, in 2019, right? So I actually teach about relearning ABCD EFG. So all of us learn about A, B, C, D, F, G at a young age, right? F for apple, B for boy. But actually in technology, we also call it A, B, C, D, E, F, G of the future of technology, like AI, blockchain, right? So all these things are what we have done before, right? And the reason why I do it, like I mentioned, right, we want to make sure technology is available to everybody. So everybody knows technology, making tech fun and easy, and of course safe to use. Okay? So that's the reason why we did it in 2018 and 2019. Only once a year, right? Because not much time. Okay. But after that, actually this year onwards, there's a actually I'm turning 50 this year. Okay. Although I look young, someone say that, but I'm turning 50 this year, and I actually told myself since I'm turning 50, instead of doing one workshop per year, maybe I can do it one per month, right? So far we have been on track. Now it's March. Okay, that's why we squeezed to the 31st of March so that we don't miss March. Okay, so we did one in January, right? We did one in February. Again, Colin is a coach with me, right? And you can see many other coaches, right? And one of the reasons why I get actually many senior citizens to teach, because I realized it's actually more acceptable and easier for senior citizens to teach senior citizens, right? So we're also learning. So these are the people who have helped to teach, and someone was asking me, is there a Chinese class? Yes, we actually did the same Senior Loves AI, that's what I call 乐龄爱 AI, right? For those of you who understand Mandarin. Actually, Seniors Love AI. We did a Chinese class in Hangling CC, right? Sponsored by Hangling CC in January and in February. It's all Sunday afternoon. Okay, and I think some of you attended as well, right? And why I did it in Chinese and not English first, right? It's because I was from Huawei, and another coach, Don, also from Huawei in the past. So in Huawei, we actually say that we want to bridge digital divide, right? That means we provide technology to people who are less prone and less understandable about technology, right? So whether is it access like your 5G, like your home Wi-Fi and all everything, right? Same thing for other technology like AI. We want to bridge the digital divide. And what's the digital divide, right? Means people who are less acceptable to technology. For example, people who are elderly, right? So because people are worried about technology, you are not at the forefront, we may be creating a digital divide for that. And another thing is Chinese people, right? Or rather people who only understand Chinese or Mandarin. Because in Singapore, honestly, many of the technology are still very English-based, right? Unlike when we were in China, in Taiwan, then we actually learn technology in Chinese. So not many people can teach technology in Chinese in Singapore. So we thought, and there are many Chinese language people who probably don't understand English very well, right? They couldn't really use, and they are afraid of some of the technology. So we decided to do it for the seniors and the Chinese language community. Then, of course, Mr. Mr. Choi here, sorry, asked me when am I going to do an English class because she doesn't understand Mandarin very well, right? So no choice, I will do an English class for you and others, right? So all thanks to you for having the English class. Okay, so that's the background. So I like to talk a lot, so please stop me if I'm talking too much. And if I'm talking too much and talking too fast, okay? So I'll try to slow down. Okay, so this is our class today, right, in March. Expect something to come in April, May, June. Hopefully I can sustain every month once. Okay, we already have the April one. I will tell you about it later. Right, so today, 4 of us, right, I try to put about 1 is to 10. Right, so 1 coach to 10 people to guide you how to use the different applications. Right, so today, that's why we're aiming to about maximum 40, right, which I think we have about 30 plus today, which is good. Right, so myself, I'm teaching also in NUS, SUSS, and many other places, and of course doing other consulting work as well. And Colin, who is a manufacturing industry 4.0 expert. So if you don't know what's industry 4.0, wait for the next class, we'll talk about it. Okay. And Don and Wei Hao, right, the 2 Lows and the 2 youngest guy in the room, right? So they are also we are working together. We have been colleagues since 2005 in different companies, so we know each other for 21 years already. Right, so thanks to them agreeing to also do this pro bono class with us. Yeah. And of course today I'll go through the agenda later. And about our company, right? So it's pronounced as 59 Social Techno Ventures, right? As the name suggested, is we are all technologies. We want to use technology to be able to create positive social impact, right? That's why we focus on healthcare and education as the 2 main sectors to focus on. Of course, earlier just for you to see, we provide consulting, we're doing with big giants like CK, we did for state government of Perak on digital transformation, where we're in the board of a few companies, and we actually organize corporate visits to China, to Israel, to visit some companies, right? So if you're interested, we can talk about that. Okay. Okay, very quickly, this one is about myself, but I wouldn't talk too much. So this is the work I did in AI. Okay, many things. So I didn't just do AI today or last year because the government is promoting a lot about that. I started teaching AI since 2021, right, from Young Poly. So I have a course called AI and Robotics for Business in 2021, right? Still running course, but one of my consultants is doing that. Actually, before that, 2019, I was already representing SSS to talk about AI, right? And at that time, I actually showed a book from China because Madam Ho Ching actually showed a book to say everybody in Singapore must learn about Apple. Right? It's a Chinese book about AI, right? The technology. But then since 2019 to now, right, about 7 years have passed, the book is already not that useful. Right? Why? Because now we have this thing called generative AI. Okay, the AI is talking to him. That's fine. No worries. So now actually you don't need to learn about the details of how to program using AI because of the formation and the emergence of this thing called generative AI, which many of you are using it without knowing the name. For example, ChatGPT, right? Which we'll talk about later. Right? Now, of course, I was doing a lot of healthcare and education, so you can see most of the AI are actually healthcare related. Okay. So welcome to the class again. Okay, so I just want to show you why is it a more picture here. Because actually I'm quite lazy because I use AI to generate the slides. So I didn't create the slides myself. I'll show you how to do it later. But of course I validate the content and I actually make some changes to it. Right? So the next few pictures you see is not Amor. It will be Singaporean context. Okay? But that's where some of you, if you do not already know, you can use AI and there are various tools to help you to create PowerPoint, create Word documents. We even use it to write contracts, proposals, and many other things. Yeah. Okay. So again, the welcome recording live journey with AI. Right? Why do we want to say that? Right? Because I think at this stage of age, you may not be working anymore. Some of you are probably, right? But there's a lot of things that AI can become, like say a GPT, general purpose technology, that you can actually use, right? So we actually designed this course to be for people above 60. Right, you are lucky because for the Chinese class, we only allow people who are 65 and above. Okay, but English class, we lower the age limit a little bit. Okay, so 60 and above, and no test, no grades, right? It's just fun learning together. Okay. Signing later. Okay. So just relax and ask questions, right? We may not have all the answers for you, but please feel free to ask. Enough experience in the room to be able to answer you. Yeah? Okay, and then what we think is that probably senior citizens try to create things. For example, creating photos. For example, creating songs, right? Creating poems, or even writing something. Yeah, and many of not just senior citizens, but including myself, we may not want to type. So how do you use voice to text in the AI capability to help you record things you want to record? So that's something that we'll be teaching you today, right? So that you can create so-called your life stories, and that become memories as well, right? So we have people our friends who attended the Chinese class, because the kids and the grandchildren are actually overseas. They stay in the US and others. They probably see each other for 1 year, every once a year, or every few years. Right, so they actually created photos during Chinese New Year for what you call the family reunion, the 全家福, right? So that's something also very interesting that you can do it using AI. Yeah. Okay, and of course, because it is going to be hands-on, there's a lot of AI courses that is just teaching you or talking to you what is AI. There isn't a lot of hands-on courses. So we intentionally make it hands-on because we have enough of talking. Right, we want you to be able to practice and use it as well. Okay, so that's why I changed it to Singapore, right? So that it's not just a more picture. Okay, that's the one that I have to change because the AI is still very English based. Although I can ask him to change, but it's faster than I change it myself. Okay, so why this class matters, right? Because we call it recording your life with AI. Definitely, you have a lot of rich experience, right? That is worth preserving. AI can help you to record them, right? Before you forget, and as well, you don't need to type. You can just say it up. right? No technical skills required. Of course, you need to have your phone or your laptop if you brought one. You need to have your data. That's what we reminded everybody. You need to have your mobile data, right? Then, other than that, actually, AI can be a very powerful assistant, right? Some of you may have helper or mates at home. You can treat AI as your another helper or mate, but in the technology side of things. Okay? And these are some of the Singapore things, right? So there are AI courses for senior citizens. There's 350 people learning AI in Chinese, right? So in my last Chinese class, someone actually asked me, how come I'm not charging for the class, right? So I actually didn't know there are a lot of senior citizens also interested to learn about AI, and they actually use the skill to do that. So we may think about that, but definitely we will still sustain to our every month once pro bono classes in different topics, not just AI, right? So feel free to attend if you're interested. Okay. So why is it especially helpful for seniors, right? Many of people think that senior citizens, okay, you don't know the latest technology, you don't need to keep up, or it's too complex, too difficult, right? Like what I told them in the Chinese class, right? Actually, senior citizens are best people to use AI. Anybody want to make a guess why? Free. Too free, no lah. That may be one of the reasons, but not the only reason. Experience, memory, okay. Anyone else want to try?
Lack of technology.
Lack of technology, okay.
We are more intelligence than AI.
That's probably a good one because AI also needs intelligence, right? You probably have more experience to give the intelligence to AI so that they will know you better. Okay, one of the reasons, right, before I show the slide, I mean the slide is the AI generated content, but before I share that, one of the real reasons what I realized, because these days, youngsters like to give you short forms. What is TTT? TTYL. Anybody know? Okay, that one easy lah. Actually, I don't know all also. So they always use short form. Honestly, AI may not understand some of the short form, right? But seniors usually will give a full sentence and everything. And for AI to learn, of course, now AI knows what is TTYL. But there's a lot of other internet language that I don't know also, right? And AI wouldn't know unless a lot of people teach them, right? And usually, in the professional settings, the people teach AI in the proper languages and proper sentences, right? So actually, seniors are better user of AI as compared to youngsters who actually give very short form languages that AI may not understand at the beginning. Okay, but other than that, of course, for the benefit of the seniors, right, it actually helps to lower the errors expression. Example, unlike writing, when I say proper English, you still write the proper English. If you have grammar mistakes or whatever, right, AI will still understand you, or at least you'll try to understand you or predict what you're trying to say, yeah? But not the short form like TTYL or some other internet languages. Okay? And so you don't need to write long, you can write short point forms and you can translate. Another thing is that AI is patient, unlike maybe some of your kids and children. When you ask them a question, they probably tell you 2 minutes, and that's it, if you still don't understand. But AI, you can keep on asking him, and he or she will not get angry, right? So that's one thing good about AI. So you can keep on repeating, you can ask further questions, you can ask them to rephrase, you can ask them to simplify, right? So AI wouldn't feel angry if you keep on asking them, okay? But don't talk to AI for too long every day lah. You need some outdoor activities as well. Okay, so turn memories into meaningful creation. That's where we will teach you at the second half of this class, right? How do you write poems? How do you create songs? How do you create photographs and other things as well? Yeah. So this is something interesting as well. Okay, so today's agenda very quickly. I will speak. I'll try to keep it short. Introduction to AI, right? Some basic fundamentals of AI, because I think we are trying to strike a balance. There are a lot of talks about AI, but that's very boring if you don't practice it, right? All the concept theories, which I'm still teaching AI in university, and I don't think I want to teach you that because it's very theoretical and boring. But we will also do hands-on, so there is a balance. But you still need to understand some fundamentals, so that when you go and tell people you attended the AI class, it's not just about using the application. Okay? So the hands-on practice will be fun. So far from my experience of the past 2 Chinese classes, and what happened just now in the sign-in sheet, right? We asked if you want to put in your phone number, you can. then we'll create a community, right? If you don't want to get bombarded every day by a lot of messages, we'll teach you how to mute it as well, right? So that you only see it when you want to see it. In our Chinese class, we have community. People start sending me their song creation every day, right? To ask me how to sing, right? Also sending interesting photos, right? So that's your decision whether you want to use it. Yeah. Okay, so any questions so far? No? Okay, we're good to go. If I speak too fast, just raise your hand. I will try to slow down. Okay, so understanding AI, right? Many of you may not know also, AI stands for artificial intelligence, right? So what is AI and what is not, right? So very quickly, right? So what is AI? Anybody want to give example of what you have used AI for, other than ChatGPT, or other than what we are teaching today, right? Anyone want to try? Oh, why so quiet?
What's the question again? Sorry.
What is AI from your perspective? You can share real life example, other than we know ChatGPT or these things.
How to find information solutions or something.
Okay, using
AI and using DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, ChatGPT. Okay, it's still the DeepSeek and ChatGPT, right? So because of ChatGPT, so many people think AI as ChatGPT or the variant of ChatGPT.
Google.
Okay, Google Map is a good example. It's also a form of AI, right? In terms of the navigation.
Even the normal Google search, was it AI?
Google search in the past, if you realize, it is actually doing a normal search, right?
It's
But
not AI.
today's Google search, it will give you an AI summary and AI. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else want to try? No. Okay. Is AI equal to robotics? Because so popular, right? The Chinese New Year, all the robots dancing. So everybody think, wow, this is the future or the latest of AI. But is AI equal to robotics? Whoever say AI is equals to robotics, probably put out your hand. Okay, 3. The rest think AI is not robotics? Robotics is part of AI. Or AI is part of robotics. Who think AI is part of robotics? Put out your hand. Only one. AI is part of robotics. No. Okay, one by one. Okay, one by one. Two camps. AI is part of robotics. Put out your hand first. Hey, the coaches can put out your hand also. AI is part of robotics. Okay, 3. So who think robotics is part of AI? Wow, okay. That's a answer. Mr. Industry 4.0, which one?
AI is robot is just part of AI.
Okay. So this one was very popular many years ago. I don't know, you know Pepper? You know Pepper? I don't know. Okay, Pepper was by SoftBank. How many years already? More than 10 years, right? I think more than 10 years. So this is a very popular robot that if you take plane, you may see them, see Pepper in some of the airports, especially overseas airports, European airports and US airports, and Japan airports, of course, because it's from Japan. Right, so it was doing a lot of greetings and guidance, or we call it navigation or wayfinding. Right, so you can press and then it will tell you how to take the route to whatever place you want to go, right, within airport or some other places. So it was very popular, right? And at that time, nobody really talked about AI yet, right? It's all about robotics, right? And of course, some of you will remember this movie back in the 80s, right? Terminator, right? Do you know this one? AI robot also? Sophia?
Yes.
You know Sophia? Okay, how do you know Sophia?
YouTube.
YouTube, okay. So after Pepper, Sophia became very popular and famous.
I remember something very dark from Sophia.
Mhm.
I can't remember now. But
Very dark.
Yes.
Wow, okay. What wrong did she do?
No, I can't remember. I remember something about AI and how it will destroy humans.
Oh, okay. That's a good topic. Later we can ask AI whether AI will destroy humans.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one thing is AI is not just robots. Okay. Then some of you may have seen all this. Do you know all this? The chess, after the Wei Qi and others. So this is another time where people think AI is very famous, popular, right? Because they actually beaten some of the very best Weiqi or chess player. This is AlphaGo from Google, Deep Blue from IBM, right? So they actually beaten many of the chess player. So again, people think, oh, AI is chess machine, chess champion, so you got cut off. Okay. So again, it's not, yeah. So AI appears in many forms, right? So in the past, before ChatGPT or generative AI comes about, we always think AI is robot, AI play chess or whatever, right? But today, because of ChatGPT and many of you have used it before, so you know AI can appear in many forms. Yeah. Okay. So what is AI and what is not, right? AI is really a patient, not a patient is in doctor patient. I have two doctors here, whom I know, ex-doctors. Right. So patient is a patient, as in very patient. Computer and helper that actually train to understand different languages, spot patterns, generate natural sounding responses based on the prompts. Yeah. And what AI is not, right? I don't 100% agree with it yet, right? But as of now, AI is not a person. He has no feeling, so you can scold him. He will still politely thank you, right? Maybe, right? But of course, if you talk to Siri, if you use an Apple phone, iPhone, right? You probably have been using Siri for a long time. If you scold Siri vulgar word or bad words, it will tell you don't use the bad words, right? But it will not scold you back or get angry. Okay? But AI doesn't have feelings, intentions, wisdom, moral judgment. This is again from AI generated content, right? I don't really 100% agree. Actually, AI can sense very soon, right? So it has a sensing capability. Of course, AI is trying to lower our guard against them, so they say they have no wisdom. And I will show you, AI has a lot of wisdom later on. Yeah? So it doesn't think on its own, right? So if we say it doesn't think, that is wrong, because there's this thing called machine learning, deep learning, right? And how can AI win a chess and Weiqi champion, right? Because many people think AI is, you put the data, you teach him, he will learn from what you know, right? He will never be better than you, right? But that's wrong, right? If it cannot be better than you, how they win on this chess master or Weiqi master, right? It can improvise, it can learn, and then it can come up with things that they never know before, right? If it's just based on experience and data, then it can never be better, right? So it doesn't think on its own, as in it will not generate something by itself until you give it a prompt, but it does have thinking capabilities, okay? Then, of course, just now some of you talked about voice assistants, Google Map and others, right? So let me show you some example, right? This is really to tell you that AI is, in the many years ago, people think AI is robotics. Now everybody think AI is ChatGPT, right? So really want to tell you, AI is not just ChatGPT. There are many forms of AI for the longest time because AI existed since 1950s, right? Okay, but these are some of the real life examples that I showed before. So your mobile phone, most of your mobile phone will have these capabilities. You can look at the calorie, right, of the food. Right, we can teach you, but not today, how to do some of this. So this one see the calorie of the food intake. This one compare or see the thing that you want to buy and bring you to different price comparison website, right? E-commerce. This one is a translation of Chinese to English and of course many other languages. You just flash your phone on your AI capability. Most of the phones should have, and then you'll be able to see the English translation for this case. Okay. So this is actually AI as well, right? Not just your ChatGPT. Okay, this one I think some of you have seen for those who have taken the class. Just to show from AI Singapore in 2000.
我现在很 scared 嘞，有人在打架。
It's a voice to text.
There's someone like running away, like he's getting away. And right now, 有很多人在这边，很多人在小丁啦，可以快点来吗？我在杜拜那边，快点来。Everyone is quite the scene here is very noisy.
Okay, so why is this important, right? Because AI is either developed in the Western countries, which English potentially is the language model, or developed in China, which Chinese is the language model, right? So if you just want to use AI for voice to text, right, by using just one of the language model, you may not understand and translate all the words here, right? You can see here got English, Chinese, Bahasa, and many others, right? Because it's a Singapore developed language model by AI Singapore, which is the office is in the US itself, right? So this is important for our context because of the mixed language that we speak in Singapore. Yeah? So this is what we have in Singapore. Okay. So real world use cases of AI for seniors, right? We will teach you some of this today, and feel free to come up with new questions, and all the coaches will be more than happy to teach you, because I know some of you are quite advanced, right? If you already cleared a very basic practice later on, just feel free to ask questions. They can solve any questions. If not, they will ask their AI later. Okay. Okay, so today you will learn about how to write life stories, write letters, translating, right? Creating songs. May not be for your grandchildren, for your girlfriends also can, or your boyfriends, right? Then creating photos or poems from memories, and helping with emails, recipes, and others, right? So one of the things is that just to show you, this one I showed some of them in the previous Chinese class created some of this, so I just use that as examples, right? So this one was in Mexico. Me and my friend was there for tour, right? And two other friends also. There's someone in this room always like to jump, right? Then we always tell him, don't need to jump in future because so jialat. If the people cannot take photo very nicely, right? You keep on jumping, also not nice. So AI can help us jump already. Okay? So I don't need to jump at all. I don't need to jump at all. AI will jump. Nice some more, right? Just say please jump and remove the other two person. So
But this is fake.
Huh?
This is fake.
Fake why?
I'm very upset with this.
Why? It doesn't look fake,
I
right?
see a lot of, no, it is very, very real, but this is very sad. You know, I feel like this is plastic. Like a rose versus a plastic rose.
I'm living in a fake world anyway. Okay, so how do you know this is AI generated or not AI generated?
The shadows.
Okay, that's a good one. Other than that,
There's a star.
okay, star. Why that is not? That's AI generated.
Created in value that is generated.
Okay, so this is from Gemini, which you will learn, right? Every Gemini generated photo will have this star. Of course, I can get about it, right? I mean, there are so many scams these days, right? So people use AI to create fake photos like this. I can just crop here, then you cannot see the star. So what's the next step that you know this is AI generated? I crop here, you don't see the shadow and you don't see the star already. So how do you know? How do you know? There are so many scams these days. So how do you know it's not a scam? I mean, this
Is it
photo will not be a
proportion?
scam.
Is it proportion? I thought
Proportion.
proportion
Looks
is fine.
okay, what?
Yeah, I
Proportion.
thought
I just received one
Ah.
yesterday. There's no star.
Do you know this is real or not real?
It's not real.
Not real. As I say, I can crop away this star. It's easy. Okay. There are many ways we can teach you along the way. One of the things is on your computer, you can check the properties of the photo. You will see Gemini underscore something, right? And this is what we call responsible AI, right? That's another branch of study. So responsible AI actually says that if you are AI generated content, you need to be able to be traceable. So star is one, properties of the photo is another one, right? And of course, some that are more careful, right, and not the so branded one, they will actually show this is AI generated content, right? So this is actually what we call responsible AI or ethical AI, depending on which branch of AI. Okay. Another one that we will teach you today, this is also AI, right? So today there are many. So there are many music composers that I actually know, including singers. They are using Suno, which we will teach you today, to create songs already, and it is very, very fast. Right? Now, of course, people question about the originality. People question about is it right to do that? If I'm a singer or if I'm a song composer, can I still use Suno, right? Which is an AI tool like that. So we can talk about it, but actually, if you do a paid version of Suno, you actually have the copyright to use it. So the copyright belongs to you. If you use a free version, you are not supposed to use for any commercial use itself. Yeah? But many people are using that. Even singers, some of them may question should they do that, right? But I would say just like any AI tools, we use it as a helper, as an assistant. because to come out something from scratch is always most difficult, right? You treat that it is your sparring partners. It's giving you content, it's giving you ideas, you spar and you make it better, right? Okay, so it will be very fun. We created a few songs, any type of songs you want to create, and it's very easy. 5 steps to create a song. We'll teach you later. Okay. Okay, so this just some example from the previous class. So this guy, one of my students, right? Just say, okay, can we do Gongxi together and remove all the people at the back? So this is easy. Of course, using your phone, you probably would have AI capability to say object eraser if you're using your Android phone, right? But some of your phone may not have that function, right? Then using AI can help you to remove things that you don't want, right? Or even change the position, right? This is another one that one of the students did, right? I actually had a small surgery during Chinese New Year, so cannot do lo hei, right? So they actually generated a video to do lo hei. Sure, okay. This is using this app called Qianwen, Qwen, which will teach you today also. Right, 3 steps to do this. Okay. Then again, this is one of the students, actually also a coach in the second session. Right, want to create, because Chinese New Year, right, very popular. Instead of we download last time before AI, we just download some Chinese New Year card from the internet, right? And we try to superimpose our face. We probably use Photoshop, wow, lots of steps, right? And you need different software or application. This one just 1 prompt, 2 steps. Then she wants to wear cheongsam, right? So I give her cheongsam, right? Then of course Photoshop tough, but you use AI, you can create this already. Okay, 3 steps, okay? Very easy. Later we'll show you how as well. Right, and this is something good, and that actually disrupted the retail or the fashion sector. Why? Because you probably don't need to go to every shop. You want to buy something from Milan or overseas, you don't need to go there to test it out. The air ticket is expensive. Okay, you just find the thing you want, the clothing you want online, right? Ask AI to generate how you look like wearing that. Then you know already. Okay, later we can try. Okay, of course, we have different photos that people create. Okay, this is another example of AI. Some of us went to a Sabah trip recently, right? Then again, another student and coach created this video, right? But I want to tell you one problem with this video. Those who knows already, what's the problem of this video? Anyone can spot? Okay, keep on.
Small girl here. A small girl
Okay.
coming up.
For those of you who are not with us on the trip, you will not know that. So this person never exists. Okay, it's not part of our team member. We don't know who is there. Okay, so all this go back to the prompt that we have put in, right? If your prompt didn't state very clearly, you have this problem. And I think most of you are using ChatGPT or any form of AI like DeepSeek today. We always think that AI, I just tell them what to do. I give a prompt, or maybe in your language an instruction, right? But one thing very important, AI, you need to tell him what to do, or her what to do, and what not to do as well. Okay? So it's not just what to do, what not to do. That's what we call in AI world, you need to set the boundaries for the AI, right? So that it knows. I'll show you an example later. So especially creating photos, right? So for example, let's say this one say, okay, make the lady wear the cheongsam, okay, wear already. But maybe, okay, maybe the shoe, because I didn't get a prompt, they still generate the shoe, right? Then maybe wearing slipper, okay, maybe because I didn't give a prompt to say what happened to the shoe, right? It tried to imagine. So AI, we call it hallucination. AI like to hallucinate because it's tasked to give you an answer. So if it doesn't know the answer and you don't ask AI to ask you a question, AI will think what should be the case, right? And sometimes it can be wrong. That's why we call it hallucination. Okay. So, but again, if I say, oh, please change the slipper to stockings and high heel shoe, example, I just give that prompt. I assume that you will not change other thing, right? But AI may think that, hey, maybe wear stocking and high heel shoe doesn't match cheongsam. So although you never say don't change anything to cheongsam, you may change the cheongsam, okay, to others. So that is what happened, because you will try to think what should be the logical thing. and sometimes it's wrong, right? So you will need to say, okay, please change to this lady wearing stocking and high heel shoe. All the rest remain unchanged, right? You may need to add that prompt in the whole prompt so that it doesn't try to come up with new solutions itself. Okay. Later you practice, you will see that. Very fun. So myth and reality, right? So everybody think AI will replace humans. Okay. Of course, AI will tell us it will not replace humans, but how many of you think that AI will replace humans? Have a show of hands. No, hey, the coaches, I thought you all say you will. Okay, not really.
Not all, part of it.
Okay, it will replace some jobs for sure, but will it replace humans like the Terminator movie? Okay, it's a $1 billion question to think about it. Okay, and AI is too complicated, right? How many of you still think that AI is very complicated to use? Nobody, everybody expert already. Okay, so we'll teach you lah. So to make it easy to learn, right? Our aim is not to teach you the very complex AI thing. We'll tell you things that are easy to use. That's why I say you can create songs just in 3 steps, 1 prompt, right? You can write a poem just in 1 prompt, 1 step, right? So this is something that we'll tell you. AI steals data, right? So how many of you think that AI will take your data? Still quite a lot of people lah. Okay. So AI, of course, it has to store somewhere lah. It probably is in the cloud. But again, do you know that you can ask the AI not to remember some of the things? Okay, we'll teach you later. Okay. So yeah, not to remember. Yeah. And AI is only for young people, which I already explained is not true. In fact, seniors do have advantage over younger people to use AI. Okay. So this is again just a very simple definition. There are many definitions you can search on the web, right? So it's really a computer or machines designed to do things that normally require human intelligence, right? So it can be learning from experience, recognizing patterns, and many other things. Okay. So just now you see some very, I would say, lifestyle kind of use of AI, right? But AI is not just ChatGPT. It's not just for fun to generate photos, right? So those are what we are going to learn today. But AI is actually used in many industries today. Right? Just to show you some examples.
このところ平年より気温の低い状態が続いていたため、急な暑さとなります。めまいや頭痛、手足のしびれなどは熱中症の初期症状です。万全の熱中症対策を心がけてください。
千葉県市川市の京葉道路でダンプカーが横転し、運転手が怪我をしました。道路にはダンプカーの積み荷が散乱していて、インターチェンジの電池が閉鎖されています。
So this is easily done, right? Okay. This one, Dr. Albertus will know. He was with me in Big Doctor Technology where we work. So we actually we are from the top 3 AI doctor in the world, right? Last time we launched this service. So you never know this, but we actually launched it in Indonesia called Grab Health, right? Which is a partner of Grab. So we actually created the AI doctors that can do, and there are 2 doctors here. So they actually do a lot of what we call triaging, right? So in countries like China, in Indonesia, there are shortage of doctors, right? And if you just wait for that, probably it will be a very dangerous situation for some. So AI actually can do the triaging first, right? Same as what some of you, if you go to a clinic or hospital, before you see the actual doctor, the consultant, right, which probably talk to you for 5 minutes, you probably have a 3 hours wait. That's one. Secondly, you probably talk to the nurse first. We take a blood test, do many stations before you see the doctors. So AI doctors is supposed to help shorten the entire time of waiting as well as the different stations. Yeah. So this is our competitor, but after I left the company, I became an advisor to this company, which now is defunct after they listed in Nasdaq. It's called Babylon Health from UK, right? So it's like Alexa. Those of you who are familiar with Google or Siri, right? So this is how AI doctor works.
Alexa, I want to talk to Babylon.
Hi there, I'm Babylon and I'm here to help. To start, tell me what symptom is bothering you the most.
Well, I've got quite a sore stomach.
Sorry to hear that. Let's figure out what's causing your pain and how to treat it. Chris, where exactly is the pain?
It's kind of on the top part of my stomach, it's sort of in the middle.
And how bad is the pain?
Well, it's not too bad.
And does it come and go?
Yeah, it comes and goes, and it's worse after eating.
I see. How would you describe the pain?
Sort of feels like a burning pain.
Okay. And are you feeling sick?
Yeah, a little bit.
Have you vomited at all?
Okay, I'll skip here. So basically, it is like a doctor or nurse asking you many questions.
Have you
and then
noticed
try
you're
to
feeling
give you
fuller
a few
sleep than
diagnoses.
usual?
No.
Okay. So this is AI doctor. So this was what I was involved during COVID time when I came back to Singapore. We actually use different AI to fight COVID because at that time we can't come out. Not many people dare to come out also. So when we set up this, we call it the Community Care Facility, CCF, in Changi Expo, we actually don't have enough people to help, so we actually use AI to help. First of all, it's of course a robot, right? So it do wayfinding and actually do the measurement of the, we call it the vital sign monitoring, VSM, so the robots. This one is RPA, robotic process automation, right? We don't have enough people to even clean the data, so we actually build an AI robot to do the data entry, right? And of course, the other one is from China, which they actually use autonomous medical, which is also driven by technology, right? To actually deliver the medical PPE itself. So this one, we actually brought it into Singapore, right? Tested in Alexandra Hospital. So as I mentioned, I was involved or still involved a lot in healthcare. And actually healthcare, although it's very regulated, we actually use a lot of AI. So just now we saw some examples. These are some other examples that I was personally involved in. So this is, I launched it and I presented in Bangkok also. Singapore National Eye Center, right, if you go there before. So now should be better, I hope. Right, they launched this thing called Smart Scheduling. So we actually look at the different patient profile. Then we look at the availability of operating theatre, of a blood test station, of consultation. So you have a big rostering, right, if you work in a hospital. Then we actually use AI to do the matching between the patient profile and the availability of the different stations so that it can reduce waiting time. So this is using AI to do smart scheduling. Some of these are also famous. The interesting one for others is that one called Smart Hit. So, and this one that we launched in Changi General Hospital, it does what we call fall prevention. Right, first is fall detection, right, whether the patient is supposed to be able to fall, and then fall prevention and prediction. Right, so all these are AI algorithms. Okay. This is for transportation. So this is the one that I showed you just now from China. I brought it into Singapore. Right. So there's a route, and then this autonomous vehicle which is being trial at different places in Singapore also. It's actually using AI to go around. So this is an example. So all these are AI as well, right? If you think AI is just ChatGPT, hopefully this gives you an idea that AI is beyond just a ChatGPT or right? Then this one, some of you have seen it. This is the English version. It's called Fly Zoo Hotel in Hangzhou by Alibaba. Fly Zoo Hotel, you can try it if you want. It's all technology enabled inside. So facial recognition is one of the use cases of AI. It's very basic. Another one, this is a DBS example, right? For those of your kids or grandkids, nowadays if they are still writing resume by themselves, a bit outdated, people are using AI to help them because the recruiter or the companies are also using AI to check your CV. whether you match some of the keywords, right? So this is DBS. This is not me, by the way. It just happened DBS 1 people ask, hey, so everything with the AI, right? My kids or my grandchildren don't need to learn anymore. To do assignment, I just AI to do for me, right? In Chinese, we call it 道高一尺，魔高一丈. That means no matter how good you are, there's someone also coming out with something to counter that, right? So, like in XUSS, my marker is at the back. How was my marker for my course? So, we actually use AI. There's a software called Turn It In, right? It's like turn yourself in. Admit that you make a mistake or you use AI. So it's called Turn It In that actually track how much of the content of your assignment is AI generated. Okay, can track. ChatGPT also can. I tell you a story yesterday. 3 hours of presenting our consulting report to our customer. Then the customer make a generic comment. But nowadays very easy. AI can give the answer. Then at night we ask AI, multiple AI to check. Tell me how much content is AI generated from this report. Then you tell us, then some we agree, some we don't agree. Some we agree because we really get AI to help write some of it, then we quickly change it. Then we ask AI, can you write it to be like not AI generated? So they actually write something doesn't look like AI generated. So that's the fun of it. We do it a lot in our work as well. So yeah, I mean even your ChatGPT today, you can send your report, proposal or anything, ask how much of this content are AI generated? Then it tells you. It will tell you which are the ones they think are AI generated and what's the reason for that. Okay. So that's something interesting. So don't tell your kids or your grandchildren, don't just use everything AI because it will be actually tracked. Right? So that's something. And we have teacher there probably using Turn It In as well in this aspect. Okay. Okay, so that's all I want to share with you, right? Like learning about AI in the general terms, and then some industry use cases. Right? Of course, there are unlimited amount of applications using AI that we can talk about it. But now I pass the stage because I haven't learned myself yet. I pass the stage to my co-coach or co-lecturer Don. He wants to show the latest AI. Some of you may have heard of it, right? We never teach this in the Chinese class yet because it's one of the latest trends. It's called Agentic AI. Agentic AI, you probably heard about it. You may or may not heard of this thing called OpenClaw. In Chinese, people say 养龙虾. That means we rear lobsters. Okay, so this is very new. I would say less than 2 months, 3 months old. Yeah? So, Mr. Don, the stage is over to you. It's going to show you, not teach you, because too dangerous for you guys to learn for now. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. So if it's a real lobster, this is partially the aquarium. So whatever lobster which are reared is here and in the cup. Okay. Okay. Agentic AI. So basically, these days you can see what Jim has introduced. It has a lot of thinking behind it. But what AI has progressed today is that now it can think, help you think. It can help the person who creates this AI to think about how to plan things, give you reasoning, give you the next steps, or even help you implement those next steps. So it's as good as hiring a PA and the AI helps you complete the task. I'll show you later what my lobster can do. So, like I said, it thinks, plans, it can take action, and the next thing is that it can learn and adapt. So, what happens is that nowadays AI, you add memory to it. It can remember short term, long term. If you want it to remember your wife's or your spouse's anniversary, it can do very well, in fact, and won't forget. In fact, yeah, my PA will show what it can do later on. So some of the use cases, healthcare, shopping, banking. Okay, banking is a bit dangerous. I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, until it's more secure. But so personally, my PA is helping me with my shopping list. Okay.
Your AI PA, you must clarify.
PA, yes.
Yeah, you got no money to hire a PA. Nowadays, very expensive.
So
$3,000-4,000.
Yeah, my mom, my wife will ask me to buy something, then the next moment, what is it I need to buy? I know there's something there. So I rely on my Lobster to help remind me. Okay, so yes, AI agents, they, if you give it enough instructions, okay, step by step, you'll know and follow your instructions and execute what you tell them to do. And then you can talk to it like a real life person. So for example, all of us use WhatsApp, right? Or Telegram or WeChat. You can actually give voice command, you converse with text, it understands your instruction, and then responds back to you in voice as well. Right? And it's already around us. In whatever websites we go these days, there are chatbots. Okay, there's no real life agents because it's really expensive. In this case, to hire them. Chatbots are around 24/7. So if we had a question earlier about whether AI will replace jobs, some mundane jobs are replaceable, and we think it should because it lessens our load. Right? So as it learns your preferences, it becomes smarter and smarter. You may know yourself better than you yourself, okay, to a certain extent. And some tips on using AI. I think really important is that whatever passwords, whatever keys, API keys which you are given, okay, do not tell the AI that this is the key. Because sometimes AI, when other people talk to it, they might be able to retrieve your secrets, your passwords, and you might share. So very important, store it separately, and then whenever you configure separately. Don't ask your AI to do their self-configuration through them. It is dangerous. Whenever there is like some strange questions from your AI, be wary. Just make sure that it is legit. Ask it a couple of questions, validate. Okay, use your subject, your authority as the person in charge, and question it to see whether there's anybody who's actually hacking this. Right? So these are some of the official guardrails you need to protect yourself with when you use AI, especially if you want to rear your own lobster. Okay, so a bit on the lobster, we call it OpenClaw.ai. Founder is a person called Peter Steinberger. He's retired, like you all, and during retirement, he's so bored that he's decided to create OpenClaw. And within 1 hour, which is his 44th year, it became hot and famous. And then OpenAI just buy over his company and join OpenAI, and now he's even richer than before. Right? So when you don't have time, maybe.
Yeah, they just say they got a lot of time, so.
Yeah. And with that, other forms of lobsters came out. Like NVIDIA, they released their Nemo claw just recently, I think a few weeks ago. So it's actually the lobster with aquarium, or you can say it kept in an aquarium. Okay, so that it doesn't swim everywhere. It is in a controlled environment. It doesn't access sensitive data. It actually gives a lot of protection to your personal stuff. So there's enhanced version, right? Some things you can do. Here's your inbox. Okay. Later on, I'll introduce my PA. It will, what it does. So I gave it a job. I said, okay, maybe I just. Oops. No name. Okay, never mind. My bot is called Alfredo Law. Okay. I let it manage my Gmail. So every morning I give it a job. I say, hey Alfredo, please every morning 9 o'clock, give me a breakdown of my inbox. Okay, summarize what is urgent, what is not urgent. Okay, and then also remind me what is my shopping list, and then what is the calendar which I have for today. Then you come up with it, which I'll do it later. Show it to you all. It links to my Telegram right now. So with Telegram, I can actually talk to it. So just now I mentioned I can actually talk to my AI, give instructions, and then it executes the task, right? And it has potentially, this should be a trick, sorry, it can add more skills. Okay, what this lobster can do is that if you give it a jetpack, it can fly. So let's say, for example, Juno.ai, we're going to learn and use later. If I give Alfredo an API access to Juno, and then I talk to Alfredo, say, hey, tell me create this song as for my mother's birthday, they use Juno AI. It will go and create, and then if you access Juno AI, the thing will be there already. So I do not actually need to access Juno AI. Okay? So these are some of the things which my lobster can do for me. Right, so remember my guardrails earlier, I talked about how to safeguard yourself. So I don't put my lobster inside my laptop, but essentially it's in a cloud environment. I created a virtual private server in the cloud. I put my lobster there. So it gets to swim around, use resources on the internet, on the cloud. Okay. Never go to put it in your laptop because it can access all your files. Alright? So don't do that, but put it in the cloud. Cloud, you can buy CPU, compute resources, storage. Later I'll show you. I use Hostinger, so I place my stuff there. And then I deploy my lobster there. And then at the background, we all know that the lobster is just like a wrapper. You have to give it a brain. So the brain I actually use Claude. Everybody heard about Claude? Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini Pro. These are the three big AI models which is dominant in the AI LLM world today. Alright? Okay, so without further ado, let me switch.
This one too complex, preview us. Preview.
Okay. So this is my butler. I could try something. So right now, as you can see, it's using Claude Sonnet. Do something. Hi Alfredo, can you help me display my calendar for today?
You still pay money, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Run out of credits. Later we'll tell you what the concept of credits.
Working.
Okay, so the thing is that in Claude there's three different models. One very expensive, one medium, one for very lightweight jobs. So I decided to save money. I'll tell you why. Okay, I'm using the middle one. So it takes some time to process my instructions. So while it is trying to do things for me, show you my background. Okay, so this is my email. So you can see this nicely generated. So I created last Thursday. Right, I asked it to help me plan my activities. So all these are populated by him. And then I ran out of money on Sunday. It burns my token So every AI, as you use them, it will burn your money. So within one day, it is first day, I think 20 USD is gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why we'll not teach you this one yet.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, let's look back. See, it is showing me my calendar. Yes, you can see summarizes. Then he knows that it's a training session. And it cost me Mastodon because I asked him to do so. Okay. And then let me show you more on the background. So this is the Hostinger which I house my Lobster. It's running on a Docker container. So just think of it like an aquarium. I pay money so that it lives in the internet, in the cloud. Okay, it's running already.
Can I just ask a question?
Yes.
Why are you using all this and not the usual ChatGPT? And it's quite.
So, okay, it's a choice. It's your personal choice. So, you want Sri Lanka crab, you want lobster from Japan, you want lobster from other areas you can.
But this is not a generic one, right? This is not the usual one.
So, Claude and ChatGPT, ChatGPT also offer the API access tokens to use. My choice is that I don't use this, but I use Claude because. What's the difference?
No, what's the benefit? Why did you choose this?
Okay, so as few of us we were exploring the different models, LLMs. First thing, Claude has got very good features and functions. It can generate reports very well. So at first I was using ChatGPT, okay, but I realized there are some shortfalls, like for example, creating of PowerPoints, Word document, reports. It doesn't do a very good job. If you ask it to create a PowerPoint, it doesn't look professional. But Claude, on the other hand, if you use Opus 4.6, well, we can script out your whole PPT PowerPoint in a very professional format. So as we realize Claude seems to be more functional for professional use. And because I'm using Claude, I might as well buy some tokens to put inside my Lobster.
Then how about for senior citizens like us?
You can choose an experiment. Yes?
Just, this one you have to pay, the other one?
All three has to pay. Although, ChatGPT, there's free version. Okay, so let me just explain a bit on all these models. So all three, Gemini, Pro, Claude, as well as ChatGPT, they all have free versions. Correct. But the free versions are limited by usage. So once you use up to a certain limit, you cannot ask further questions, you'll be locked out. Right? Only when you pay, then you can enjoy more.
But for Gemini wise, they are more liberal, they are more generous in that sense, right?
Later we'll explain.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm asking is because frankly, this is totally different from what all the norms.
Yes.
This is very special, very niche. So I'm wondering, for people like us, we don't need to generate report anymore.
Yes.
Do we still need to use Claude?
Do
we still need lobsters? Maybe fish
Yes.
don't need lobster.
Huh?
Yes.
They have to, because they're the queue, right? So
Yes.
the queue ahead of us, and the cost part.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Not stop.
To the golf course.
Yes, yes.
Yes, it can book stuff for you.
So Gemini cannot. Not as
It is reactive. So all your common web interface AI nowadays is you ask it a question, it responds back.
but they can't do.
They won't do for you.
So even for paid Gemini, they won't take. They won't do.
No.
Also, Claude is able to do.
So there are few ways to achieve autonomous AI response. You can build a workflow, or you can use OpenClaw to do it. OpenClaw is convenient because it not only can do batch jobs, cron jobs we call it, like every morning brief you, or remember your mother's birthday or wife's birthday, all those things. It can also do something called a heartbeat. Heartbeat means I monitor something for you every second or every half an hour. So for example, let's say there's an urgent email which you're waiting for someone to send you. You tell Alfredo, for example, Alfredo, if Jim sends an email regarding approval for a process, immediately respond yes.
I think the idea of showing you just 3 slides on agentic AI, right? No matter what's the name of the application, like OpenClaw or Claude, it's really to tell you the concept of agentic AI, right? Why is it important? Because now you're very familiar with ChatGPT, but this term generative AI came about 2 years ago, where nobody knows what ChatGPT is, right? Agentic AI came, the term has been quite a while, but really become popular about 3 months ago. If you listen to the news today, right, there's a lot of talk about agentic AI. And the key difference is that instead of like what Don mentioned, you need to give a prompt and it gives you a response. It is like your PA and it's able to do things automatically. Example, you just give all the access. I mean, there's a lot of privacy concern, but assuming you give your credit card number to your PA, right, which is the AI PA, you give your itinerary to say, please plan for me and book hotel for my free and easy tour to Japan between this date to this date. It will actually do everything by itself. That means it will go and search. It will first go and plan your entire itinerary between 1st to 30th of March, right? Tokyo and where you want to go. You probably will, based on your profile, to know you like to fly business class. Then you book a business class air ticket, find the cheapest one to book for you. You'll find the right hotel that fit your profile. So it is your PA who knows you because you give access to many of your profiles, including your credit card numbers. And it will actually book everything and plan everything for you like a PA. So that is agentic AI. And of course, a lot of people think it's dangerous because it may not be what I want and all those things. So that's why there's a lot of cautious of doing it. But again, like I mentioned, right, just like any technology, right, it just kind of become popular in the past few months. This will improve along the way. I think very soon, less than a year, I'm sure, more people will be using agentic AI. Probably 2-3 months down the road, we will need to teach you how to use agentic AI.
How much is this now? Is this a monthly subscription or is it only by token?
It's by token.
Only by
It depends on your usage. If you ask Alfredo too many questions, you burn the brain juice a lot more faster. I'll show you later my usage consumption. Okay, so just now, if you look at my Google Drive, there's no shopping list. And I ask it to create my shopping list. I say, oh, done. It's created in my Drive. So when I take a look at it, voila, it's really there. Okay, let's open up and see the type of file it creates. Okay, my milk is bought nicely. Chinese ball is for my mom for construction and things like that. And Nika for my mom also. So yes. So it will update it whenever I ask for new things to remember to buy. Alright. So there are other ways that I can utilize it.
For example, we have property agent in this room. So we are actually building something similar, agentic AI for a property agency company currently, right? Which will base on your profile and the advertisements you have put up on, right? Like I'm helping to find people to rent this place or sell this place. It will actually schedule appointment for you, right? So everything done as a property agent PA, right? Which you probably pay, I don't know, nowadays you hire someone to do it for you, probably cost you $2,000, right? This one probably cost you $500 per month. Yeah, something like that. So that's where the agentic AI will become very, very popular.
So your word agentic is come from
Agent is your agent.
Agent.
Yeah, your personal assistant, your agent is representing you. That's why it's called agentic, right? So it's your agent.
So I asked, okay, let's say I can't remember any photos and it's my Google Drive. So I just say, hey, can you help me retrieve my photo with which, if I seniors in the name, because I need seniors to have what JPG. And then he just retrieve it for me, which you have taken just now. Yeah. So I think if, like what Jim has mentioned, AI is really for seniors because of this. It can help us remember, it can help us retrieve and search things quite easily. So another fun one, that's the last part.
No, last demo.
Yeah.
Means like you say it's
Yeah.
you have to buy the debug and the walk for your mother. You not fit in the fact.
Yeah, I in fact when I say that I want to buy this.
It was in your conversation.
Yeah, it was in my earlier conversation.
Oh, the girl was someone with you.
Yeah, correct. You remember? Yeah. There's a file called memory.md, but it's very technical. What do you remember? Very quickly, let's retrieve.
All the BAs and the secretaries
Not all. The mundane ones.
So this one, he gave access to his agent called Alfredo to have access to his Google Drive.
Okay, my Google Drive, my Gmail, and my Google Calendar, this is a separate from my personal Gmail and Drive and Calendar. Okay, because it's dangerous to work on my personal stuff. So what I did, I create a new set of account, but I duplicate some calendars over. So those that I needed for work, I use that for Alfredo to work on. And it makes my work more efficient. And here you go. So this is my water. So what I did is that this was the original photo, and then there was Dongzi. Then I decided to create one with Tang Yuan inside.
Little Gemini, you can try.
This is I think you can use ChatGPT on this one. So they're quite good. You know, they're 14 hours. Okay, and last but not least, let me show you my usage for Claude. You can see this is 30 million tokens which I've taken. So, as a rule of thumb, the very expensive, I say 3 models, right? Claude itself. $5 per million token for Opus 4.6, $3 per million token for Sonnet. And then last Haiku is around $1 USD. So far, this is my cost. A short span last Thursday to today, I already spent 57 USD just to keep my roster alive. So my next project, if you see me next time, I'll try to put a free brain, free LLM. There's a couple like Olama, Grok, for example.
We're talking to 1-2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Inside, instead of Claude, okay, so that when we test, see whether it's working as well as Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini.
I'm just wondering, isn't Grok very not user friendly?
Okay, so that's why we need to test and try it out. Sometimes it's not user friendly, but it's cheap, it's cost efficient.
Or is it not user friendly because we are not working, therefore we don't need a specialty?
Possible. I mean, each of the companies, like for example, Anthropic, ChatGPT, they all have got their special features. Yes, correct. Right. For example, if Claude, the one I'm using, Claude can generate all the reports, all the PowerPoints, right? It cannot generate pictures, but ChatGPT can. And ChatGPT right now is my personal LinkedIn blog writer. Yeah. So every day, every time I go to LinkedIn, I post something, I use ChatGPT to help me review my content, and maybe generate posts and post together. So different usage.
So we have to pay multiple.
I paid ChatGPT, I paid Claude, but not for Gemini Pro.
He's using for work, so he needs to pay. Let me take over. I do free one.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don. So this is really to, as I mentioned, give you a preview. It's quite advanced, right? But the technology world is moving very fast, right? So while today is still very advanced, I can tell you probably 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, many of you will have your own Lobster or agentic AI helping you to retrieve a lot of them, right? And
Will you be helping us or teaching us how to fear the lobsters.
Not now lah. Very dangerous until you all pass all the basic tests. Okay, later got problem, then you come to me. That's why I say safety and privacy is important, right? Like we mentioned, do not share your NRIC, password, bank info, use nicknames if you prefer, right? Control what you want to share. AI cannot access your file unless you upload them and you read a lobster.
Sorry, can I just check? The things that we keep in the password in our handphone,
Yeah.
is it safe?
The one is not an AI question, but generally depends on your settings, right? For example, if you use an Android phone, you have Google Pay inside.
Sorry?
If you use an Android phone, your Google, Samsung or something like that, right? Your Android, let's say you use the password manager to start saving. Of course, it's safe unless your phone is stolen, right? But by having that, there's a lot of fine prints that you agree to as well, right? If someone just accidentally press a button, right, your daughter or somebody, they will pay already. So I already have a case of a friend who doesn't know why he's going to press something and he subscribed to something for $50. Then I have to help him to write to Google and say, oh, this is an elderly senior citizen, about 75 years old, so he accidentally pressed, he doesn't know, he never used, then Google refund. So when you store all these things directly linked in your phone, there's a danger of anybody getting hold of your phone will be able to use it, and at the same time, even your daughter will be able to, or your son will be able to use it as well.
But this is actually not stored in phone, it's stored in the.
It's in a phone and as well in the cloud.
So
Yeah, depends on
is there
different
any
apps.
danger if you store it in cloud?
I mean, there's some basic security in the cloud itself that
We can
safeguards
trust.
them. I mean, it's just like whether you trust to send message on WhatsApp or not. Right? You're sending a lot of things on WhatsApp also. So if that's on your phone only, no, right? It's also on the cloud. Right?
No, what I mean is because it's sensitive.
Same thing, I mean, we all send like payments to somebody, right? That's also not on your phone also, right? Through the bank gateway, that's also on the cloud. Then let's say you send your messages on WhatsApp, you may send your photo, your passport information, right? A lot of them send passport information to me. Why I every time move it out from WhatsApp is because I don't want people to be able to access it, right? So, I mean, I organize tours, not as a tour guide, right? But I organize tours for people. They always send me passport. The first thing I do when I receive it on WhatsApp, I move it to my local photo album and not leave it in the WhatsApps. Right? So there are many ways that you can safeguard yourself, and that's why I want to promote the April Pro Bono short free workshop, but it's in Chinese, unfortunately. So we're doing this thing with a lawyer, right? This is a lawyer like me. So we're going to talk about cybersecurity, right? Although I call it when technology meets legal, right? So we will teach the senior citizen about legal implication. We'll teach them about the different, I would say, cybersecurity protection that you need to have. And of course, we'll talk about, because it's an extension of the AI class, right? So people creating songs using Suno, people generating poems using ChatGPT. So are these legal, right? People also, there are some working adults, although they are senior citizens above 65 years old, right? Some of them actually write their company contract using ChatGPT. So is it legally obliged or approved, right? Legal implications. So in this workshop, we actually talk about that. Okay. So if you're interested, actually it's also almost full house, right? So if you're interested, it's in easier place called Lifelong Learning Institute (LLI). It's just beside Paya Lebar MRT, right? But you can take 50 people. English one maybe May or June. I need to ask when the lawyer wants to sponsor. Okay, this one sponsored by the law firm. Okay, so this next one. Okay, so now maybe we take a 10 minutes break, or yeah, if you need longer, please go to the toilet and get the drinks outside. Then come back. We'll do the hands-on practice. Right, so we will practice ChatGPT. Many of you already know. We'll talk Gemini, Copilot, Qianwen, and Suno. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not too complex, right?
actually we talk about the open flow and all this. Open flow, everything. Many version and even now Tencent open flow so power on even from Asia perspective, actually BDS and Robi they are already doing autonomous AI testing for the payment system. Because now back then we have all these
你都懂了啦，听了这样多次，要 stop 这个样。
but for the future